we are the children of Israel, you understand? We are not Jamaicans, you understand, West Indians, etc. Those are slave names. You understand? Those are names that when they took us in slavery, they gave us. But formerly, we were known as Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so forth and so on. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. So we're going to show you what happened, because in school they don't teach you, they teach you slavery, understand? But they don't teach you why you went to slavery. Understand? That's not in the curriculums. Slavery is in the curriculum, but they don't teach you the reason why we went to slavery. Understand? Because if they did that, we would know who we are according to the Bible. Understand? Because yeah, I was taught slavery, but they didn't teach me why I was enslaved. Understand? Give me that.
Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
It says, thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage. In other words, our heritage or our nationality will be stripped from us during slavery, during colonization. Understand? That's what happened to us in slavery. Have you seen any slave movies? What slave movies have we watched? Okay, Roots, 12 Years a Slave, Birth of a Nation. So all that's what it's going into, you understand? Because if you read the Bible, if you examine it, the Bible is actually black history. All the prophets in the Bible were black. Understand? Jeremiah, say it again. That's the King James Version Bible. Understand? And we're reading from Jeremiah, he was black as well, according to the Bible. But read it again.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
My sister, pay attention now. What's the name again, sorry? Make sure you pay attention.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
I will cause thee to serve thine enemies. See that? I will cause thee to serve your enemies. In other words, this happened, the people that did this to us, God is calling them our enemies. Understand? Why? Because our people, we have a notion that everybody's our friends. You understand? But a friend wouldn't put exactly. You understand? So, is that it? Read on.
I'll cause thee to serve, and I'll cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger.
In a land which thou knowest not. Right now we're in Bristol. Bristol is one of the largest slave ports in the UK. Bristol, Liverpool, Glasgow, and all them areas. Understand? So in a land, we'll read it again. Listen to this.
And I'll cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
In the land which thou knowest not. Because Jerusalem, that's our motherland. You understand? Jerusalem is our motherland. All this is the land of our captivity, the land of our captors. Even Jamaica, that's not even our homeland. Now people want to boast on Jamaica this, Jamaica that. That's not even our homeland. You understand? Read on, right?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Get me Isaiah 1 verse 3. We're going to show you something, what God is talking about the Israelites. Read.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3.
Bring it up.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
This is what God is saying about us as a people. It's saying, read it again.
The ox knoweth his owner.
The ox knoweth his owner. So an ox is a dumb animal. Understand? But yet he knows who owns him. Understand? Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
An ass, understand, his master's crib. An ass knows where his master's crib is, where to get fed. But read on. So what's the point? We're going to show you the point.
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel doth not know.
But Israel, the so-called blacks, we are the Israelites. We don't know who we are.
Right.
Understand? You can ask 10 black people where they're from. You might get 10 different answers. Understand? Read.
My people doth not consider.
We don't question it. Understand? We don't question why we were put into captivity. Understand? Why we're constantly oppressed. Why we're constantly in the ghettos. Understand? Why our people are the last hired, first fired. Understand? Why we're constantly shot. Police brutality. We don't question that. Exactly. Exactly. We don't consider. The Bible says we do not consider. But that's something that you must question. Thank you. I'll see your teacher.
where they've taken our things from, white men who've actually built lights and, just like we don't have any money, so we sold it, all kind of things. So I understand your teaching.
Excellent.
I just want to know what you're going to say, but it's good.
Okay, I'll pray. But we're going to show you more on how we lost our nationality. You understand? Deuteronomy 32 verse 26. Deuteronomy 32 verse 26. Because there's a misconception that the so-called Jews in the Israeli is the biblical Jew in the Bible, but that's not so. You understand? The so-called Jews or the true Jews are black according to the Bible. You understand? We are the Jews. We are the children of Israel. You understand? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 26. I say, I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
God said He will make the remembrance of us to cease from among men. In other words, there will come a time where people will not recognize us as the people of God. Understand? Because of slavery, because of captivity, because we broke God's commandment. You understand? Is that it? Deuteronomy 28 verse 37.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
And thou shalt become an astonishment. So now we're black people, we're an astonishment now. When the nations see us, they're astonished. You understand? The way we act, the way we conduct ourselves. Where did these people come from? Why are they acting like that? You understand? It's an astonishment. Why? Because just like you said, at one point, we used to be the rulers of the earth. You understand? Black men ruled Europe. We even ruled England. That's right. Understand? Yeah. The kings of England, they were us. That's right. Oxford, Cambridge, Westminster, we built all those prestigious, institutions. You understand? But now we're an astonishment. You understand? If you bring that out, they'll be like, nah, you like black men? Nah. You understand? We've become an astonishment now. You understand? Read.
A proverb.
And what? Proverb. You know what a proverb is? It's a stereotype, a wise saying. You understand? If you want to hide something from a black man, what do? You hide it in a book. You understand? A proverb. Black women are too loud. That's a proverb. You understand? It's a stereotype now. That's the things we've adopted in our captivity. Understand? Read.
And a byword.
And what?
A byword.
In other words, byword meaning being called outside of your God-given name. So now, as God called us Benjamin, Judah, now you're known as Jamaicans now. West Indian, Black, British, so forth and so on. You understand? Those are names that you can't find in the Bible. That's what's meant by a byword. Understand? Meaning you've been called outside of your God-given name. You understand? Those names don't mean nothing. You understand? God called you Benjamin, which means son of the right. Understand? Read.
Among all nations.
Among all nations. Why? Because we're scattered in all nations. Understand? Because they call it the triangular slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade. It was vast. We're scattered in India, China. Understand? We were slaves there, all over the world. Read. Say that again. Colombia. Can you see Colombia there? They are actually our people too. You understand? You and the Colombian, you are one people. You understand? Known as the 12 tribes of Israel. So our people are in Colombia too. They're from the tribe of Asher. You understand? Read.
Among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead us. You understand? So among all nations, that's where the Most High scattered us. You understand? That's where He scattered us. You understand? Get me the book of Jeremiah 2 verse 14. Jeremiah 2 verse 14. Jeremiah 2 verse 14. Because what you're seeing is actually prophecy. 2 verse 14. Listen.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 2. The book of Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
And this is the prophet Jeremiah. He's asking a question. Is Israel a servant? Can you hold it up? Is Israel a servant? Why is he asking that? Because if you examine the Bible, we're constantly put in captivity. Understand? Whenever we do something wrong, the Most High put us into slavery. Understand? It happened first in Egypt. We were in slavery and Moses delivered us. And then Assyria, and then Babylon, and then Persia, Greece, Rome, Portuguese, America. Understand? Even the English. Read again.
Jeremiah 2 verse 14, is Israel a servant?
That's why the prophets are asking, are we meant to be slaves? You understand? Is this our purpose? Is this our lot in society? You understand? Because if you watch slave movies, all you see is black people. You understand? You don't see the English in slaves, the Chinaman in slaves, the Indian man in slaves. It's always black people.
Right.
Understand? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Read that again.
Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a servant? Read.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Are we a homeborn slaves? Are we meant to, be born, work, and pay bills, be in captivity, and is that our lot? Read.
Why is he spoiled?
He's asking a question. Why are we constantly spoiled? Why are we constantly oppressed? Why are we constantly in captivity? Understand? These are questions you must ask yourself. Understand? Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. We're going to show you.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Moses speaking to the Israelites. He says, it's going to come to pass, it's going to happen if you Israelites will not obey God's commandment. Read.
The Lord thy God to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these what?
all these curses,
All these what?
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God gave us two choices. In Deuteronomy 1 verse 14, he says, if you obey my commandments, I will bless you. You understand? You will be above all nations. You understand? By saying that if you disobey my commandment, I will curse you. You understand? I will curse you. Meaning, say it again.
A lot of disrespect has been happening and stuff. Obviously, that's how we've been cursed.
And okay, say it again. Okay, I'm gonna show you one last verse before you go. Verse 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
So this is what you must be teaching your nieces and your nephews. Yeah, read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he's saying that God will bring. So how did we went from Africa to Jamaica? How? What mode of transportation? I'm asking you. If you're a teacher, you should know that. How? I'm asking you.
You should tell me.
Okay, read. Read.
You're making me learn from you.
Okay, read.
Tell me. I'm going to be educated by someone who knows what they're doing.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So whenever the Bible mentions Egypt, is going into bondage or slavery. So whenever you hear Egypt in the Bible, that's synonymous to slavery. Understand? Go back.
Verse Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
God will bring you Israelites into slavery
again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With ships. What nation of people do you know in history that went in slavery on slave ships? Say it again. What specific nation? You need to think hard. You're a history teacher. You should know this. Did a Chinaman go into slavery on slave ships? Did an Englishman go into slavery on slave ships? Did a Jewish man go into slavery on slave ships? So who did this? Don't be ashamed of it. Thank you. Black people were on slavery on slave ships. Understand? It's reality in the Bible. Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So this is black history, crystal clear in the Bible. God said he will put the black man in slavery again on slave ships. That happened to us in the 1600s, 1400s, 1500s. Read.
By the way, wherever I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there in the land of our captivity, what would we do? Ye shall be sold.
We were sold. Can you raise that up for me, bro?
Ye shall be sold.
We will be sold
unto your enemies for bondmen,
slave men,
and bondwomen,
slave women,
and no man shall buy you.
Meaning no man was going to gather us and deliver us. You understand? There wasn't not going to be any man to save us from the condition that we're in. You understand? There's not going to be any man to save us. You had great leaders like Malcolm X, powerful leader. Understand? Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King. Understand? So that's the point. The point is that we are the Israelites. Understand? And we must come back to God's laws. So make sure you read the flyer. Yeah?
We'll read the flyer.
Make sure you do it.
We've got some kind of base or something.
Yes, we're based in. We have a congregation in Bristol. We also have a congregation in London as well as the West Midlands. The Bristol one, you can get in contact with this brother here. He's over the Bristol area. So make sure you get in contact, yeah?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.